You have the hammer. Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, January 12th, 2017. Welcome. Happy New Year. And if you could, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Time we'll go to the roll call. Here. Here.
Brian Meyer.
Here.
Thomas Bowman.
Here.
Tony Hawkins.
Here.
Colleen P. Pasquale.
Here.
Rob Lowe.
Here.
Will Winthrop.
Here. Good morning.
Brian Singer.
Here.
Renee Ported and Anita Garcia are
Thank you. This time we'll ask for motion for approval of the December 8, 2016 TDC minutes. If they have a chance to review those. Any questions or any changes in the minutes?
I'll put a motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Right. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. At this time, we'll call for public input. Anyone from the public who wishes to speak at this time to address the board? Being none, we'll close public comment. Move down to municipalities to be heard. Any cities to be heard?
There we go.
Come forward, please. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner, New Year, and Happy New Year to the TDC. My name is Judy Small, I'm the city manager of Sanibel, and I try to keep the TDC apprised of the work we do with the funds we receive from TDC on a regular basis. And today I'm rising to speak to a different issue, and that's our partnership with TDC and how our partnership operates often in ways that you cannot see. Of course, Sanibel itself has 14
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us, and it shows how great our community pulls together in such times of grief like that. I can imagine being on family vacation like that, something occurring. This is what a tragedy. Any other cities? Okay. That's how we'll go to the report of the executive committee. Director Cameron?
Just to add a little bit to what Judy said, you know, it takes special staff to be able to help in those situations, and our visitor services team is top-notch in this. I know both of those situations were particularly challenging given the number of people and the situations, but I was particularly impressed by the day of the 10th because literally that incident happened and she was on a plane by about 6 o'clock that night, Judy? That's what she wanted. That's what we helped happen. Our staff literally walked her through the airport. She was, as you can imagine, devastated. And our staff person who did that, Jason, he said, I wanted to get on the plane with her. She needed somebody to get on the plane with her, but I couldn't. I think it just really does take special people. But you're right, it is. It's about what would you do if it was your family member, and I think that is the way we've handled it on both ends, and we very much appreciate Sanibel supporting that, and those calls I will always take. Let's talk about bed tax. November bed tax collection was up 2.3% over November of 2015, coming in just over $2.8 million. For the year to date, considering that that's only 2 months, we're up 3.2%. And quickly, let's take a look at the STAR report. Our occupancy for November was actually off 3.4%. While ADR was up 4.4, so that ended up with a RevPAR of a 0.9% increase. Keeping in mind, people always ask me why that difference between the RevPAR and bed tax collection. Remember that the STAR report reflects more hotel units. There are vacation rentals that aren't really reflected in the STAR report, so it's important to keep that in mind. We have seen some occupancy decreases in a few months in 2016, and I'm going to remind you that next month we'll have a representative from STAR giving us an update on how our area is performing relative to other areas, the trends they see ahead for us, et cetera. So next month we'll have that STAR report. Okay. Passenger traffic at the airport was up for November, and though I know we don't have the December numbers yet, we know that 2016 will be another record year for the airport as well. Year to date, up 3% at 7.6 million for sure. We're going to break last year's numbers, and I know that a lot of pride in that at the airport as well. Pamela is at Huddle, and as you know, we are still working on filling our sales director vacancy, so I'm going to give you the sales report very quickly. For the final quarter of 2016, we had 128 RFPs sourced out to the industry, contracted about a little over 9,000 room nights. The response rate from our partners on those RFPs we sourced out was 61%. We did some domestic.
Can you go back one?
Yes.
You say 61%.
Correct.
You're saying 61% responded?
61% of those we sent out were responded to. Correct.
So you have people that don't respond, like
Absolutely.
Has that been improved over what we've done, or is it, because it's always
I think
been...
there's some flexibility in that number, but it's something we have been working very closely with you on, but obviously that's on the other side of the table. But 61% of the RFPs were responded to.
So when that happens, do you then have to go reach out to individual hotels? Because we have to get an answer, right? Or is that just a dead RFP?
How can I give them a rate if I don't have a rate from the hotel? If you may not have availability.
Oh, I get it.
I mean,
Okay.
understood. I mean, it's a challenge.
Are you aware of who doesn't respond?
Sure.
I don't know if it's worth contacting them or not.
And we do. I mean, that's a constant battle.
Right.
Yes, challenge for us. Domestic shows, primarily consumer shows attended this quarter. You see some images from those shows, as well as, next slide, some meeting shows, meetings events that we hosted here, both in destination and out of area. And then, of course, our international sales activity, hosted some FAMs, attended some shows. Very busy first quarter schedule. So we've divided these slides up into domestic and international for each of the 3 months. I'm not going to belabor them. They're in your packet for you to look at if you're curious about where we're going to be, but a very active travel schedule for the first quarter of the year. And with that, unless you have more questions, and we'll continue to work on it, I promise, the RFP response, but we do depend on our sales partners.
It's just a shame on the hoteliers. I mean, it's just,
Bill, do you think the Hotel Motel Association would help with that if it was brought forward at?
yeah, well, I'll bring it up with them, and Brian would too, but, I mean, it's shame on us. I mean, that's business. I mean, it's just, you just leave it on the table to go to another destination, so. But we'll take it back to the Hotel Association.
With that, I'm going to...
Are those RFPs sent out, blanket RFPs to everybody, or is it?
No, I mean, in fairness to us, we try to qualify them based on what they're looking for to the proper hotel. I mean, it doesn't always work perfectly, as you know. I mean, I know you'd probably like to see every single RFP, but not every RFP works for every property. So we identify the appropriate properties, send them out to them, and then depend on those sales teams, as you know, to respond to those RFPs.
Yeah, because it's if 40% of the RFPs, or 39% of them aren't being returned, if they're going to one specific property as an RFP and they're not returning it,
Right.
Usually RFPs will go to 4, 5, 6 different.
Correct, and they do.
So that's saying that 40% of 5 or 6 different properties aren't responding. Not
Right.
one of them are responding back to that RFP to be able to put out a proposal. That's alarming,
It's a lot.
to say.
It'll be a hot topic at the Pink Shell at the Hyatt when we get back.
You know, we document, in our database system, we document where those RFPs go and who responds. So if any hoteliers are curious how they're performing in that area, we have the ability. In fact, you can go in yourself and look at it, but Rob?
I think you just answered it. I was just wondering how it escalates. So if somebody's, a GM sitting here and their sales team drops the ball, I guess we need to examine how the management can make sure they're understanding this. Because,
Correct.
I might not have any idea, if it got left at the desk, if somebody didn't say, hey, Rob, why aren't you guys responding to this?
Right.
I sure hope we would.
And if a response comes back that says, oh, we're not interested, does that count as a response?
Absolutely.
Oh, it does, okay, so these are just blank, no answers out in the clouds
I am-
somewhere.
We don't want the business.
Yeah, well,
We
should at least say,
I mean, sometimes, and
we're busy or we can't do it, or,
it's a deep, that there's no availability on the desk.
but you're saying is, there's
I
just,
understand is
it's just like,
61% of those RFPs sent out to were responded to.
okay. I got you. Thanks.
I mean, it's easy. I have one person assigned at our resort, and that person knows it's coming. They know they have to do it, and if they don't, you've got a problem. So, I mean, I don't see what's so hard about it if you assign a person to it. It's easy.
You want the business.
So with those hotels.
Yes, sir.
Maybe when Pam gets back, maybe we ought to take a closer look at it, because I might not be aware. I've heard some of them come across as sort of big email lists. With the wedding leads, I know that I've heard. I would love to just take 10 minutes at some point in a later meeting to
Sure.
maybe delve into how those leads are coming in and make sure that they're as obvious as we're sort of acting like they are here.
And maybe we could do that at this level, but maybe at a sales and marketing meeting, a refresher on responding to RFPs as well. I mean, not that we haven't been down this path before, but it certainly couldn't hurt. I think that's a higher number than we normally see, probably time of year, et cetera, other things going on, but I think that it bears good conversation.
Tam, just a question on, you said next meeting, Smith Travel will be here.
Yes.
Just looking year-to-date November, Lee County's occupancy is down 0.7%,
Correct.
which doesn't sound like a lot. On 11,700 room nights in Lee County, that's over 20,000 room nights that the county is down in occupancy. And we're down 0.7, but all of Florida's down 0.1. So we're falling behind the rest of Florida, and Florida's being dragged down very much so by Miami, which got hit by the Zika virus earlier this year, which really impacted their overall occupancy. So if you took that out of the equation, Florida wouldn't be down, actually. And Lee County is seeing a little bit of a decline here. So it'd be interesting to see what Smith Travel's going to have to say about it.
And I think, yeah, and, take a look at those others in the competitive set. Pinellas 0.3, Collier 0.5, Monroe 3.8, Miami-Dade 2.6.
Collier is probably the result of the JW.
Some of that, correct, some of that.
That's probably a big chunk, because they're the biggest hotel in that area.
But I think,
It's just a little, I mean, it's a lot of, you add that up across the course of the year in all the hotels, and that's a lot of room nights we're not filling. Over last year, year-to-date, that's a lot of people that aren't cleaning rooms, that aren't, I mean, it's a lot. So it'd be nice to see what they have to say and how Florida compares now to like states, and see how that's working out too.
yep, absolutely.
We just got to make sure it isn't a trend.
Understood. And if you'll remember, the bulk of that decline came in the first quarter of the year,
Yeah, the weather was horrible.
when the weather was bad.
I mean, the only thing I'd say that I'm seeing right now at our hotels in Florida, and I'll talk to the Pink Show, for instance, December, going into December, we thought it was going to be a horrible month. It would be in the best December we've ever had. But the consumer is very short-term now. I mean, very short-term, even with the holiday week. And I posted the highest revenue in the spa and the marina that I've ever had, which tells me right now is people are willing, the discretionary spend is up right now. So, which typically are areas that we usually don't see. Same with, RV and marina kind of go hand in hand. But it's interesting that it's a very short-term customer, and it's they're spending. So I'm encouraged that the first quarter is going to be strong for us. I mean, right now we're seeing all our hotels March is way behind. It doesn't come to Florida in March, so but I think it's just because of timing. They're booking like 2 weeks out now versus 35 to 40 days that was last year. So that's just my star analysis for everyone.
It'll be interesting to see how December comes back for our county, because November, we were down 3.4% occupancy. The only other area that was down a lot more than us was Miami-Dade, and you know why that was down.
Right.
So hopefully it was just a blip, and December shows better numbers for us coming through, but it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
Yeah, that's definitely the largest change we've seen all year,
Yep.
by a lot,
Yep.
just to be clear.
Hopefully the media will be good to us this year and advertise that Florida's the only state without snow last week. And start talking about other things, Zika and water issues.
Absolutely.
So hopefully on a national level,
Having the weather benefit, for sure, right now, but,
hopefully they'll talk about that for the other things.
and we talked a little bit about this last month, the election malaise, there was definitely some things going on economically. Now the consumer confidence is rising. I think we're going to see some improved travel planning. I mean, not that I think travel planning's off, but big picture, I think with greater consumer confidence, we're going to see visitors staying a little bit longer, spending a little more, the things that you would expect with that. But hang on. Judy, would you please give us the visitor services report?
Good morning, everybody. Commissioner, I can honestly tell you that we watch visitors come off the planes, collect their baggage and baggage claim. They're all in scarves and mufflers and boots and very fashionable winter things, and they walk outside and they're quickly divesting. So it is a wonderful experience to watch them see the blue sky and the beautiful palm trees and the incredible weather we've been having. And even on days that we as Floridians think are bad, they think are wonderful. So it's a great experience out there. So what I wanted to share with you was some very, very brief highlights of what Visitor Services has been doing the last quarter. And as you can see before you, we've worked with approximately 216,000 visitors, which has resulted in a savings to the county of nearly $600,000 in wages. So we're very pleased with our outreach to the public. And then also on this next slide, you'll just see a very fast overview of some of the different types of questions and those who kind of rise to the top with interest from visitors. And as you can see in the attractions area, Edison Ford continues to be the #1, followed in activities by shelling. That is always something that's highly important to visitors when they talk to our 140 volunteers at the visitor information booths. And the accommodations in this last quarter, Pink Shell kept popping right up there to the top, so that's kind of cool. Some of the special projects and community support we've been assisting with. Of course, just a couple of quick highlights. We did do some fun things with the FGCU group, and we had a business presentation where we had the pleasure of working with Eric Ashton, Anna Marie Mazaros, our E-Award Honor of Distinction winner. The FGCU School of Business reached out to our office and said, gee whiz, we really want to talk about customer service and why the E-Awards is such an important asset to the community, and what do these people do that is so special. So Simone, who runs that program, reached out to Eric. He brought Anna Marie, and it was a wonderful time to talk to the students who are aspiring workers in the industry, and they were very appreciative of that. So we're glad that we had the chance to do some community outreach in that area. And of course, as you can see, the LARC assistants, Roy Hobbs, that was a very big deal. That was important to practically their entire volunteer team because we were able to do some outreach to the players and families. And then there's a couple of other fun things on this list. The U.S. Sports Congress Conference, we did some greetings and things along that line that were very important to help the folks attending realize what was happening in our area. And additional partner participation, of course, included our Team Tourism Sales and Marketing workshop series. You may remember we did generational differences with Christine Davlin. We also did an active shooter workshop with the Sheriff's Department. And by the way, we're going to do some repeats after the Fort Lauderdale incident. We have some things that we're going to adjust a bit. And then, of course, we also had Lindsay Norris with Visit Florida down who talked about growing domestic leisure travel. And it was very well received by our industry partners. And as you know, Brian's team did the annual sales and marketing meeting and then the leadership summit. And then those of you who missed the volunteer holiday luncheon, we went to Zoomers to bring out our inner kid. That was a great way for our volunteers to learn more about our attractions that were geared toward children. And adults, I have to say, if you've not done Zoomers, please make sure you do. And for a quick update as to what we're going to be working on, please put on your calendars the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon on Thursday, April 13th. We will be sending you information, but please put that on your calendars, as well as our travel rally on May 2nd. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Roger?
Judy, back on your pie chart for most requested information, one of the categories is bike trails and cycling. Are we tracking that information year over year? We hear from time to time, we're hearing a little more of it now that we don't have enough venues for that segment.
Of course, we are, but of course our numbers are very informal. It's strictly what people come up to the information booth and ask. So our numbers at Visitor Services are very informal, if you will, but yes, we do track that.
Do we have a way to track the number of visits based on that activity?
Not that I'm aware of, Tam. I don't believe there is a way that we can.
We do survey our visitors and ask them what activities they enjoyed while they were in the area. And biking is one of those activities. Are we specifically asking them, did they come to the area for biking? No, we are not.
When we have conversations with the local biking clubs, they're saying that it's a sort of an emerging piece of business for tourism, and it accounts for a lot of revenue, but we just don't have any numbers that we can rely on so far.
You're referring back to off-road biking, like the...
Well, both.
The parks.
On-road and off-road, both.
Yes, sir. We do have a staff person who does attend with Nancy McPhee, the National Bicycle Tourism Conference. We're working with the communication and sales teams for National Bike Your Park Day, which is in September. So we do have staff people that are participating in a lot of the groups and paying attention and
Maybe
supporting.
we can just chat about that. Thank you.
And actually at my bike shop, we do get more people every year asking for safer bike paths, where they can go riding at. And,
Tourists or
tourists.
locals?
Yeah.
Tourists?
Snowbirds, tourists, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, Judy.
All right. Now I'll ask Francesca to come up and give us the communications report.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to take a little trip down Media Lane. Can you hear me? Is this now? I have to,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me get the clicker. Hold on. Get this all working. All right. So coverage highlights. I'm really excited about this one because this landed in Boston Magazine this month, and it says, "You really don't want to be in Boston right now, do you?" It's going to be 28 degrees there this weekend, so we love this. We have a great, Boston's one of our key markets because we've got direct flights, we've got the Boston Red Sox, so when we can get coverage like this in Boston, we get really excited. We've also gotten tremendous coverage with Photos, one of the best travel magazines in the country. They did a nice piece on Pine Island, which is great. Parade Magazine, also 2 million circulation. National Magazine's fantastic. They highlighted Edison Ford Winter Estates. I liked jaw-dropping light displays. Can't get much better than that. Or Seashell Lovers Paradise, culture map out of Houston. Our contractors, international contractors, are doing their jobs and getting us tremendous coverage internationally. And then a quick look ahead. We've got some interesting things coming up. Our PR team out in New York City is going to help us with a rental press trip. Renting is becoming, it's a nice trend right now. People want to go rent a house, so we're going to do that. This quarter, we're going to head to Houston, Dallas, Washington to do some media trips, and we're going to do a really fun thing in April where we're going to do Islandology Immersion. So Islandology is a marketing campaign that we're doing that's also sort of like a philosophy, like a slow down, kick back, find your island. We're going to take that to Manhattan. We're going to go to some huge media houses and take over their editorial offices with some Islandology. And then lastly, we're going to build on some culinary assets, incorporating beer and spirits. Beer trails are big right now. Breweries are big right now. Food is big right now. Recently, we did a Millennial Blogger Tour. We hit some of these breweries, not all of them, but we're hitting all of them. We've seen all of them. We're excited about that. Journalists are excited about that. Young journalists are excited about that. Also, we're going to do a slow movement out of the UK. They're really been working hard on this. They did a survey, and surprise, people like to kick back on vacation. They like to unwind, unplug on vacation. So they are doing a tremendous job getting that message out and highlighting this area as a place that you can unplug. I also think that it's going to be a bigger movement. I think as a mother of 2 teenagers who stare at their screens all day, I would like to go somewhere where they could unplug. And I think this unplug movement is going to take off. And lastly, 2 quick things about the culinary initiatives. I want you just to think about this so I got an email from a reporter from USA Today. She's coming here in March. She wants to go to 30 culinary destinations in Lee County. She wants to hit 30 spots because that's big. People want to go eat, people want to go drink, people want to go get ice cream. So we're going to help her do that. And and they're also really interested in trails, beer trails, whatever your trail is, cheese trails, whatever your trail is. They're really interested in stuff like that. The last thing I want to say is that we just sent all of our industry partners a survey, really short survey, and it just said, what's new? What's new 2017? And why that's important to me and my team and our whole team is that if we don't know, we can't help promote you. So I'm just going to tell you a quick couple of things that I learned from some of the people who did respond. Wicked Dolphin has a puppy menu. A puppy menu, so that you can bring your puppy, you bring your dog, have a drink, and your dog gets to order something too. I mean, I didn't know that, and that's great for us to promote. I didn't know that Broadway Palm has just done some renovations. I did hear that the Lani Kai has a Starbucks, but there's so much information. If I can keep all that somewhere and you can help me with that information, then I can help you promote your accommodation and I can help you. So we're going to send that survey out one more time next week. Please respond. It's really quick. All I want to know is what's new. And then when I know that, I can help you. So have a great holiday weekend. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Good job, thank you.
Brian.
Good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. We are still running strong with our resident artist program, and for those of you who don't know what that is we find a talented photographer or videographer that lives in Lee County, contract with them for 3 months to go out into the community and grab new photos, new video, new assets that we can use on our website and our marketing materials and that kind of thing. It's just been unbelievable results that we've seen so far. One of the benefits that the resident artist has is to get to come talk to all of you about his or her experience. So we do have our resident artist here today that I'm going to introduce you to here in a moment. Grab my clicker here. His name is Rob Hoovis. He is a video production specialist and photographer who lives here in the market and has a real passion for what he does. We get several applications every quarter from a variety of people who want to be our resident artist, and Rob really stood out, and I quickly want to read to you what he wrote, because as part of his application process, we asked for a short statement or paragraph to kind of gauge, where his or her head's at. So here's what Rob wrote to us. There's nothing I'm more passionate about, aside from my family, than photography. I have a freelance video production business, but it's photography in particular that I love the most. I'm not sure how to explain what my approach is, other than to say I am constantly searching for new subjects, situations, scenery, and people to photograph. When I find an area or subject I like, I just kind of know it and have to shoot it. It's a drive that probably borders on obsession, LOL. Photography is about the only time my brain turns off and I'm in the moment. I always have a camera with me in case something happens, or I come across something I think I should shoot. And I often do just come across things. When I search a specific location, I want to use my camera and various lenses to portray it in the best possible light. I enjoy the abilities I have with digital photo editing and the color possibilities. I really like making something people have seen 1,000 times look new or unique to them. To make something seemingly ordinary become breathtaking. I'm never satisfied, so I'm always looking to do something better than what I did before or better than what I've seen before. I want people who see the photos to be amazed. What I hope to get out of it is simple. To be able to take the type pictures I already love to take of this area and be rewarded for it. Not only financially, but to have them be used for the purpose of making our area attractive to those who've not been here. To show it in the best light and hopefully come up with images that wow those who see them. To do what I love most of where I love most and have it go to good use. That is my goal. So I wanted to give Rob the opportunity to talk to you today, and in the background I'll scroll scroll through some of the final deliverables that Rob provided to us as our fourth quarter resident artist of 2016. So, Rob, do you want to come up?
Hi, thanks everybody.
Does that mean Chris?
Yes. I encourage everybody to look at the monitors for the photography versus the wall. The colors are much better on the monitors.
Or your iPads.
Thank you, Brian. That was very nice. I'm going to take a picture of everybody because I'll probably not stand up here and do this again, so just bear with me. You're in there, Brian. I turned it off. That's embarrassing.
Do a selfie.
There we go. Thanks, everyone. Public speaking really does give me the willies, so I'm not going to stand up here for too terribly long. I want to say thanks to the Lee County Visitors Bureau for choosing me. That was a huge opportunity and an honor. I have a video production and photography company, but I rarely get to shoot the kind of things I enjoy shooting as a job. So this was great. It was a good change of pace and exactly what I like doing. And I want to say thank you to Brian, Elizabeth, and Leslie Ann. You guys were great. Thank you very much. Let's see. I've shot photos for a while. I'm reading. I've shot photos for many years. Lived in Lee County since 1984. I think what I really liked about doing this is that I got a chance to really see how amazing our area is. It's something I think people take for granted after living here for a period of time. And I got to really realize that we do live in paradise, so that was really nice. I don't have a whole lot more except for to maybe talk about one photo in particular. Did I go too fast for you? I can stall, I think. Look, it's a windsurfer. That's my wife. That's a lovely place. There's my kids. Dog. There's another dog. So, I'll just go ahead and start kind of too. One of the things that I really like to do is shoot astrophotography. I don't know if anybody knows this, but off of Sanibel is one of the better places in the state of Florida, actually, to see the Milky Way and photograph the Milky Way. And I realized that about 8 months ago, and I got kind of hooked on doing it. So this photo in particular was something I really enjoyed doing. I wanted to put my own spin on a few of these things. This is a friend of mine. They said that fishing was a subject matter they wanted to cover with these photos. And so this is a friend fishing under the night sky. It was a perfect night. And that is a view that you can get at night, on a clear night, when there's no moon, of the Milky Way. So that's it. Thanks again, guys, very much. I really appreciate it, and it's been an honor to do this.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions about the Resident Artist Program? We are going through our applications, and we'll continue that program into 2017 and beyond.
Great. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay.
With that,
You done?
I am officially done, although we do have the budget report.
Okay, well, new business now, first quarter budget report. Thank you.
Very nice photos, very nice. Good morning, everyone. Well, it looks like the only item on today's agenda that requires your approval is the first quarter budget report. And you will notice that at 16%, we are slightly underspent for the first 3 months of the fiscal year. But that's the norm. That's due to the timing of the advertising and marketing campaigns. Now, the expenses for those campaigns will start rolling in and will be reflected during the second and third quarters. So in essence, we are on track. That's really all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions in reference to the budget report? Yes, sir.
Need approval, I'll make motion.
A motion?
Second.
Second.
In Renee's name. Where's Renee when we need him?
Any other discussion? All approved? Say aye. Okay. Next, council information.
All right. There are several items in your packet that you may want to peruse. I apologize. As the month goes on, I throw items into that folder for Amanda, and it may be a little thick this month, so you get some good late-night reading, but hopefully it's interesting to you occasionally. One other thing I wanted to remind you of is this afternoon, if anyone in the audience or those around the table who might be participating, we're having our Beach and Shoreline webinar or kickoff for the Beach and Shoreline funding cycle for 2017-18. That's hard to believe that we're already talking about 2018, but we are. So Nancy will be hosting that webinar at 3 p.m. So if anybody's out there listening and isn't signed up yet, get in touch with Nancy this morning or early this afternoon and get signed up for that webinar. Other than that, I don't have anything else, sir.
And also tonight from 5 to 7:30 is the Barley Palm Dinner Theater. They're having the grand opening of the new theater after the renovations. They're having that event tonight. So, okay. This time we'll just go around the table, see if there's any discussion. We'll start with Tony first. I'll come around. Will any of the members have any news or any information to share with us?
Certainly enjoying this January weather compared to last year. I think we're off.
Yes, it's a whole lot drier. So
Hallelujah.
definitely, it's nice to see not have the 20 inches of rain in 2 weeks. For sure. Yes, sir.
I saw in the news, and I wrote a quick email to Tam on this, and also called the mayor's office. I just don't think that we need shows like Cops to Catch a Predator. I don't think that they're working on behalf of our tourism industry. I'm not here to say that I don't think they should continue great policing. For instance, you could do all the things they did to Catch a Predator without the need of having the cameras there. So I think our tourism industry should probably try to convince whoever thinks these ideas are good ones that they might not be great for our community. It just shows the worst of our community, and I think we've got so many things positive to talk about that showcasing a very small percentage. And when I talk to especially German tourists, and they tell me one of the main reasons they come here, and we've got great beaches, we've got all those things, is the safety factor of Southwest Florida. That's a huge, huge benefit for us over a lot of other communities. So I don't love the idea of going out and acting like it's much worse than maybe it really is. Just some thoughts.
Did they ask for our input?
Is this council would take a position like that where you do like a resolution or any type of letter to an entity like that and say that we oppose it based upon this?
We could.
I mean, I think the city council already voted last week and they already moved forward with it, but you know, things can be changed. I mean, I know the mayor didn't support it, but I know the chief did, and I think they had a lot of dialogue. It did not observe that meeting. So in case somebody in the future you want to do that, I would encourage you to do that. Just on behalf of the TDC, submit a letter saying this is why we oppose it. It is blanket, it is a blanket information. People see that nationwide. They see Fort Myers. And once it hits the news, it hits the TV, it's also Google. So I mean, Google's Fort Myers, it could come up. So.
They had a lot of discussion, but, they're not very shy about coming asking us for money. So I think that we ought to make them aware that, we would like to have some input.
They want people to stay in their hotel downtown. They may want to think
exactly.
That's the way I think about it.
Absolutely.
Pass a motion, and I'll work with you
That's
to
up to the
draft a
group.
letter.
Absolutely. I'll move that.
I think it's really important. Sometimes they just don't think about that. They think, oh, there's notoriety, but and you don't think about the the negative impact because that's not the spin that they're giving. So I think it's really important.
It's all perception.
And I think they look at it as a recruiting tool for officers. And obviously there are two sides to every conversation, but I think if you feel strongly about it, then let's let them know.
The problem with the shows, they stay around. I see if you watch the shows every once in a while, you're trying to from the channel, you see one from 1995. So 10, 20 years now, that still will be out there promoting that area. This is what occurs. And people see that, they think, well, I don't want to go there. Who wants to visit there? So I was kind of disappointed myself when they took that action. But it's up to the group if you want to make a motion to send a letter saying you oppose it, the reason why you oppose it, and then give me a second.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, second.
Second?
Second.
Second, okay. Any disagree? Okay, great, thank you. Next.
January 26th at 12 noon at the Hilton Garden Inn will be our next Lee County Hotel Association luncheon, and you don't want to miss this one because we have a fantastic speaker in Tam Pygott. So if you want to come here or speak about what's going on, please put it on your calendars to attend. 26th of January, Hilton Garden Inn, Fort Myers.
Oh, we wouldn't miss that for a world, would we?
I just returned from the Visit Florida board meeting. As everybody's seen in the news, Will Suckham stepped down. We voted to approve his severance upon the recommendation of Governor Rick Scott. And we also voted in the approval of Ken Lawson to be the new CEO and president of Visit Florida. Ken comes from the Secretary of Department of Business and Professional Regulation, so he's headed that for a number of years. So a little bit of change in Visit Florida. They still have two key openings, a Director of Marketing and a COO that they still need to fill. So Ken will be actively looking to fill those positions and keep selling Florida.
Thank you. Kelly?
I'm going to wear a different hat today and remind everybody that Lee Health has started the Million Mile Movement for Lee County. They are looking to get Lee County up and moving, out of your seats and moving 1 million miles between Monday, started on Monday, through March 31st. So it's a real simple process to get yourself logged into the website, and then almost all of us have phones with apps on it that count your steps, or if you've got a Fitbit. If you want to be part of a team, I had a board member who went a little crazy and promised the world that we would do 25,000 miles. Yeah, he's in trouble. So if you're looking for a team to get on, the chamber will certainly take you, because I need like 70 people doing 4 miles for 90 days. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. And his whole family is on our team. His son is already beating me in miles. It's all good. So, but if you're looking for something fun to do, it's literally just a grassroots movement. Last year we did about almost 400,000 miles as a community, but this is the year that we think we can make 1 million. It's a fun thing to do. It can be competitive. We've already got conversations starting against teams. It's some good stuff. So if you're not doing anything and want to be part of it, you can either sign up on the 1 Million Mile website or call me or email me and I'll help you get set up.
I need to do that or wear shoes out pretty fast. I guess I need to do it, get credit for it. Andrew, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
That's good. Glenn, do you have anything?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just ask everybody to hold the date of March 20th. We are proposing a joint BOCC TDC Horizon Council meeting for that morning, 8:30 a.m. at Florida Southwestern State College. Many of you in some discussions have talked to me about the practice that has been in abeyance for a while of holding such a meeting, and so we worked with your chair, Commissioner Pendergrass, to come up with a date. I hope that works for everyone.
What was the date again, please?
So it would be Monday, March 20th, 8:30 a.m., Florida Southwestern. And just so you know, at a staff level, we are working very hard to try to bring what we traditionally think of as economic development together with tourism development. Obviously, you understand the synergies. They're all very important, and it's important to discuss that at more of a policy.
Where it's going to be held at FSW yet?
So it'll be in the U building, which is one of the newer facilities.
The auditorium building, right?
Correct.
Yeah. It's the auditorium building on the south side of the college.
Yeah, it's the southwesternmost building on campus. And we'll get you a detailed map.
Thank you.
Hey, so, I'm sorry.
Please.
Would it be proper to invite the airport management to this? Because, it's really hard for them sometimes to understand the hospitality role that they play in Lee County. And I don't know, Cecil, maybe you have a thought on that, but we've been for years trying to get the VCB, TDC, and the special management together. This might be an opportunity. It's only, 6, 7 more people maybe?
Right.
Glad you said that, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, that would be fine with me. Having a discussion on that, having the airport management involved.
That'd be good.
Absolutely.
Everybody agree with that? Okay.
Okay, so we'll work to make.
Coordinating to see if they can make it. We have some airport staff here anyway, but, you know, as far as the management team and the rest of the team would be great.
And then the only other thing I'd add, Mr. Chair, is speaking of FSW, some of Roger's team had a chance to go tour the new arena in depth yesterday. If you haven't been, take the opportunity. It turned out really, really well. It's fantastic. So, thank you.
Really nice.
Another great asset for the community. Thank you. Roger, do you have anything for us?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Fran?
Well, you have your airport review in front of you, and just to tell you, most of you know that Bob Ball retired, and it was a great party for him, and he's been an incredible leader for the airport, and I think the gentleman that you've chosen is going to be just as well, but we'll all miss Bob a lot. He's such a professional.
Starts full-time next week,
Great show there.
Full-time next week, I think, yes.
Who's the replacement?
Jeff Mulder. Yep. Great guy, and Bob supported him through the process, and he's going to be a good, he's got a lot of shoes to fill, but he's going to be good, though.
Yeah.
Definitely have confidence in him. Anything else, Fran? Mike, anything?
I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Pam, say the best for last.
Oh, thank you, that's sweet.
I wish we started last time, I would have started with you.
I think it's being addressed. I know Tim's watching it, but the move by the President Speaker of the House, President Speaker of the House, to look at Visit Florida and possibly change the funding or reduce the funding or eliminate the funding. I think it's something huge that we really, really, as an industry, have to stay on top of. I am very concerned about it because, you know, with the trend now of, you know, getting government out of business and that type of thing, or you know, reducing it. I think that Visit Florida does a wonderful job for us. I know that there's a lot of change there now and everything, but I think that we all need to be very concerned about that and watch that very closely, and probably Lee County Days and Tourism Day, and we all need to be very supportive and be a part of that to make sure that we protect that funding.
Yes.
Just to piggyback, and then Pam mentioned it, but March 14th is the Tourism Day, which we have the opportunity to speak to the legislation in Tallahassee. So I encourage any of you can go up. It's a great event to go to get in front of them.
And also, too, at the same breath, it's important to talk to your local ones here, and not, because, you know, tourism days, it gets a little crazy, and you're in and out fast and forth. So if you can reach out to them earlier, it's always very, very important as well. One other note, just to, you know, Tom Storff, who served as a chair of Visit Florida, he passed away last week, and he'll be sorely missed. He was a great leader and a great mentor for a lot of us. I know that. So,
thank you. Like Tony said, I definitely would contact your own delegation, even throughout session, as much as you can, Laurie, as much as you know who they are, and make sure you stress to them how important that is. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other questions or comments? No? Amber, you have anything else? Motion for the meeting to adjourn? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Mr. Chair, yes, this meeting.
Good job, Cecil. 1 hour.
Not as fast as John, but.
Yeah, what do you get?
Take care.